Alright, welcome everyone. My name is Paula Phillips, also known as JournalArtista, and we are recording this live over on Ustream. So if you're watching the recording on YouTube, I am talking to people that are here live in chat. You're most welcome to join us. I'm in the Eastern Time Zone and I stream at 9 p.m. on Wednesday and Saturday nights. So tonight we're going to work with some alcohol inks in our art journal. I'm going to try two different things, and I'm crossing my fingers that they work. We shall experiment together. So I do have my little collection of alcohol inks here. When I started alcohol inking back in, I guess in 2004, I showed it earlier, but I took a Tim Holtz. I went to a club scrap retreat. Hi, Debbie. And this is one of the frames we made back then, and that's when Tim Holtz and Robin Beam, they were demoing that, and that's when I got, well, I shouldn't say most of these, because back then they didn't have that as many colors. They definitely didn't have the metallics, but back then Tim Holtz didn't have his fancy ones that he has now, and this is what he was selling, more of the old-fashioned looking ones. So if you see me use these blending tools, the ones that you get now are going to look like this by Ink Essentials, right? But when I bought these years ago, that's what he was using, and it was just felt, the felt Velcro just off. And so I've always designated these to alcohol ink only. All right. Hey, Carol. Hey, Sherry. Everybody coming in. And I do have a small, yeah, it's got paint. I've got a separate mat just for alcohol inks. Yeah, right. It's got paint all over it. But I will use the opposite side. So I'm going to take out the, I haven't really thought about colors tonight. Does anybody have any suggestions? We did do a fall page. Oh, let's talk about the stencils I'm going to use first, and then we can think about colors. I will be using Artist Seller stencils today, and it's Artist Seller C-E-L-L-A-R, not seller like, you know, although she does sell stencils. So this is the Quasi Crystal series. It's a 4 set. I know it's very hard to see. But I was going to get this black piece here. So one looks like go using this and this funky looking geometric. So I was thinking, you know, because alcohol inks kind of have a jewel-like tone, so I'm thinking maybe we'll do jewel-like colors. And at the end of the show, we got a stencil, same stencil, to give away. So I'm excited about that. All right. So before I choose colors, that's what I mean. You know, we got some lights. So we want, maybe I'll try 2 blues. Let's say, oh, I got 2 sailboat blues. So I'll take a denim and a sailboat blue. Oh, I also forgot to say, I'm inspired to use alcohol inks tonight because my wonderful friend Barb Owen, who is creating _faces here on Ustream, did a wonderful class yesterday, Friday, on creating some beautiful leaves. So go check that out. So she inspired me to start using some in my journal here. So we got blues, and you know, a little bit, maybe a little bit of green. Got a stream there. Most of these are like the older. I don't even know what this is. That's bad news. I guess I'll have to check that bad boy out. I think some of these, oh, I know some of these were gifted to me from Laurel from the Rangers sale. Not this year, of course. She just went today. I can't wait to go and watch her stream or haul stream. All right, maybe some wild plum. Let's just start with those 4 colors and see where we go. I guess I do have, I'll keep a lettuce out there. And of course, alcohol. There's Barb right there. The blending solution. All right, now get out these guys. So before I pressed record, I did gesso these pages. Also, this is a composition book, a regular composition book, but what I do is glue 2 pages together with a glue stick, glue on both sides of the page, before you stick them together, and it comes out pretty good. It might be a little wrinkly tonight. As I was saying earlier, if you're going to prep, I usually prep a composition book, maybe half of it at a time. Thanks, Carrie. There's Barb Owen's link right there. If anybody wants, you should go check her out. But do a couple, do a whole bunch of pages. Just glue, 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 glue. Sometimes I'll use like a whole glue stick, glue in them all. And then close it up, put it under something heavy overnight. And then when you wake up, you definitely have less wrinkles, less bubbles, all that good thing. So I'm going to try two different techniques, two different resist techniques, see which one works better, see if they create different results. I'm not sure. I used alcohol ink in my art journal one time. Which one was it? I'll have to think about it. Well, I can't even show you because what happened, I've used it in more than one time, but the first time I used alcohol inks in my journal, I thought it would be a great idea for some crazy reason to put spray fixative, which of course at that time was like finesse hairspray, and I thought it would be even a better idea to close it. Well, those pages cemented shut for good. So once I get these pages done, I'm gonna let them air out overnight, and let's see what goes on. Okay, so one side, like I said, we have gesso, and the other side, I could have found my regular golden gel, so I am gonna use an old jar that I've had forever. Look at this, will cost me $10.49, but it's Claudine Helmuth Studios multi-medium gloss. Now I imagine since Dinah Wakely has a new product line out in Ranger that they don't sell the Claudine Helmuth ones anymore. That's just an assumption. I'm not sure. One thing about Ranger, as we talk about this, if you watch my prior stream and my fiasco with my green distress stains, I emailed Ranger yesterday, and within 20 minutes I had a response. I had to email back look at this. This is bad news. This is just like a skin that's formed on it. Excuse me, I had to email them like the lot code and such, but so why don't you use hairspray to glue your pages together? Yeah, that's a good idea, Carol, actually. I should try that. I don't know if it was the combination of alcohol inks and the hairspray or what, but that was bad news, I'll tell you that. This silly thing, I didn't want to use my fingers, but I guess I'll have to. I guess there was air that got into it or something. It's just a big, like I say, these are a little bit older. So Ranger got back to me. Not only did they get back to me, they asked for the number. I gave him the number. 5 minutes later, he's like, oh yeah, there was a problem with the preservatives, as we all know, in that batch. And they're sending replacements. But I wanted to say that that was the most amazing customer service. So if you watch that last show, you understand what I mean about my frustration with it. But it all turned out good in the end. Hey, you never know. Yeah, I think that, they discontinued Claudine's line, I guess, when they, with Dinah Wakely. Okay, so, oh, that's not good. Sorry, I thought it was regular gel, which is thicker. I'm going to use my Golden's Heavy Gel then. Sorry about that. I want a raised look. So tonight's a little bit of experimentation, which I always love to do live because, you see the good, the bad, and the ugly. So I'm going to put this down. You know what? I may not be able to dry this. No, I should be okay. Just going to use a palette knife. This is a cheap palette knife, you can buy in a set of multiple ones. You don't have to buy expensive ones. Of course, I do have some, but the chat's a little bit different if you haven't been around for a while. I can't see Q and colons anymore, which was produced a question mark symbol that I was able to quickly identify in chat if somebody had a question. So instead, please use a heart, which is negative, the negative sign, less than sign, less than, and then a 3. Somebody in chat Carrie will probably demonstrate that right now. All right. So the difference between a gel medium and, you know, you've seen me do this with light molding paste or whatnot, is that this dries completely clear. Light molding paste dries, as you know, white. But I want to see, you know, how the alcohol inks, number one, react with on top of the gel medium, but number two, how they will, if they resist, and how it will look like, what it will look like on top. Yeah, hearts is a good way. I appreciate that. So then I don't miss anything in chat, because sometimes the chat can go pretty fast. So, and hopefully my stream, can somebody confirm that it pushed to Twitter and Facebook? All right. So I'm gonna put got three main points here. Again, I'm hanging it off the edge. You don't have to do that necessarily. If you want to do, you could put one smack dab in the middle, and then maybe one over there and one over, one in between, whatnot. All right, thanks, guys. So you definitely want to clean your stencils after you use a heavy gel. And we talked about gel mediums before. This gel, when they say heavy, like this will glue down, any type of 3D embellishment you ever want. It's sturdy stuff. It can hold down, if you're gluing down 3D objects, it's definitely capable of doing that. All right, so I got some texture. Like I said, I definitely want to clean my stencil right away, and I'm just going to do that here with a baby wipe. If you don't, this gel medium is going to build up on your stencil, dry completely plastic, very hard, and you won't be able to get it off. And it'll change the dimensions within the design, and that's not good. That's bad news. So definitely going to clean it. Definitely going to clean it. I do like the look of how I have used alcohol inks over gesso. I really like the look that it produces over gesso, so that's why I gessoed my pages first off. Hi Jane, Kathy, Joyceage, Colleen, good to see everybody. Appreciate you being here. I had a delicious dinner. I know I said it in the pre-chat. I had a little bit of a turkey coma, but now we're drinking some Monster, so it should be good. I should be good till like 1 in the morning. All right. Oh, while that's drying for a second, I did want to show you. If you watched my previous stream, I did a quick one this morning. But I really like, can you see how this dried? Maybe not. No, it's not gonna work. But I did use Lindy Stamp Gang, so it's got the glimmer. But I really like that, you know, the blues turned, because I used a red spray, red and blue, and ended up with some brown tones, so I love that. I like how it dried. Okay. So this could take a while. What was I thinking? This could take a while to dry. It might be quicker to gesso a new page and use some of the thin medium, but we shall see. It might not be too bad. Try not to put too thick of a coat. Oh yes, Mom absolutely loved her owl stamps. Thanks you to Linda White Holloway, CTMH rep. I wasn't very smart when I used that. Okay. Well, I'm gonna set this to dry, and I'm just gonna grab another journal here real quick. Oh, I can use this ginormous Dinah Wakely one. I think I can fill it out because fit it in my screen. Excuse me. I already have pages in here gessoed, so we can do the other technique. Back out one. Oh, now you can see my polka dot pants. Let's go this way. All right. Maybe not. One thing about this journal, did I say it was Diana Wakely? I apologize. Diane, it's made by Ranger. Okay, but I do have some gessoed pages in here, so we don't have to wait. And while we work on this, we can work on this while the other one dries. All right, that's bad news. That's not working right. All right, I apologize if you can see my polka dot pants. Polka dot pants and a striped shirt. It's the Delusion journal. That's right. Okay, so I got a gessoed page. I'm just gonna start throwing on some alcohol inks. Now, some people do it in two different ways. You have your sponge. This one's dirty. I might have to put a new one on. So there's a piece of felt on this. Just gonna dab a couple drops. This one happens to be Stream, Sailboat Blue. I'm not reading. Did Jean have a good stream? I'm looking forward to checking it out, because I definitely need some storage solutions. I love how that looks. I just love how, boy, I haven't used that one in a while. How Adirondack alcohol inks work on gesso. I swear I only had one. I had my last coffee with a shot of Bailey's. That's nothing. But it's bad. Too much sugar, probably. Okay. I'm going to put a tiny bit of the mixative blending solution on it. Yeah, I'm definitely going to watch Jean's recording. Jean is Music Scrap here on Ustream. Scrap without the A, so S-C-R-P. Music S-C-R-P. Okay. So the newer style is obviously, he obviously improved it from what he was using back in 2004. So bear with me while I may have different shapes than what you have. But, you know, I'm not opposed to do that, although it sounded a little bit of the Velcro. Oh, I am opposed because it sounds like chalk scratching a chalkboard, because some of the Velcro is going on it. All right. Add a little bit more blending solution, not adding any more inks, just a little bit more blending solution. The fun thing about alcohol inks is that when you add it back on, you know, you add more on top, it reactivates and blends more colors. So if you start thinking that it looks muddy, all you got to do is add a little bit more alcohol solution. Because I'm only going to work on one page here, I'm going to try to zoom in a little bit so you can see a little bit better. Thanks, Carrie. I appreciate your help, my friend. So happy to see everybody tonight. I didn't even have dessert. Did I tell you that already? I know I said it in pre-chat. I was so full. It was so delicious. If my mom was watching, it was a delicious dinner. But I think she still might have some company. All right. I didn't even use denim, and that seems pretty dark. I guess it was the bottle. Excuse me, the stream. Oh no, it was that long ago, for sure. 2000. The first time we saw it was in 2004. Of course, when he demoed that at Club Scrap, then we all went nuts. And the colors I have, I bought every color. And of course, I had to buy two of the tools he was selling. So, a little bit more Sailboat Blue maybe. And then I think it was the next year, the year before, that, you know, he debuted. That was what I first saw when he first did Distress inks. It was either the year before or the year after. I'm just moving around. Because, you know, we're using this stencil, these stencils from Stencil Girl, the Quasi Crystal series, And they're very geometric, right? We've got a very geometric, nice geometric pattern. That's why I'm kind of going more geometric with how I'm using my blending tool. I do like that little pop of green in there. All right. And a little bit more. Yeah, had some delicious stuffing and potatoes, mashed potatoes. I know it's almost time for you, my wonderful American friends, to have their Thanksgiving. That's right, Jean. Nothing better than green, right? Add a little green. So like I said, you can go right on top of that. Make it move around. It's actually starting to look a little stained glass, which I like. And the more you leave it, right, the more it starts doing its own thing. However, the Velcro on here, the Velcro that holds the felt's getting a little rough. I haven't replaced the felt since I bought it either, so. Who got 2 Thanksgiving? Oh, Carrie gets 2 Thanksgivings because she's part American and part Canadian. Welcome, Kimberly. So glad to have you. As always, you know, it's really easy to chat in Ustream. You just have to create a username if it's your first time and just join us. One thing to remember, if you look up at the top of your chat, it'll say social stream and chat. If you're clicked over on social stream, we can't see you. So come over to the chat side and join us. All right, try to decide if I want peaks of white to show through or not. I like this. I like where this is going. It actually, I was just thinking in my head that it would be fun to use this size of blending tool and maybe a different one. All right, gotta be careful. This is a little sticky, but what I'm gonna try to do, and I haven't tried this before, guys, so we're learning together, which I know you all love when I do that. I'm not literally, I don't know why I say that, because when I say I'm trying to break myself out of that habit, you know, using the word literally in the wrong context, and me saying I'm literally going to use this like that doesn't make, so I'm breaking myself of that. I'm going to put the stencil down. I'm going to take, this is some paper towel, it's not even, it's a piece of napkin. First I'm going to try, you know what, let's see what a baby wipe does first, now that we're playing here. See if the baby wipe does anything at all other than make mud. Nope. In fact, it completely resisted. It made bubbles. Sorry, my head was in the way. Did you see my roots? Oh, I've got a serious root problem. So that didn't work at all. So I'll go back to the original. You could probably use one of those hand sanitizing wipes, though, that have more alcohol content than a baby wipe. I love how it looks on gesso. Okay, so this time I'm going to put the alcohol blending solution right onto a paper towel, and now I'm going to try to, nope, back to the, all it did was sink into that towel, as I expected. I like to do some of these streams sometimes to show you what not to do. Don't use that. Alright, so this is just an extra piece of felt. I don't know if the new ones by Ink Essentials are like that, or do you have to buy refills, like you have to buy the refills, the foam refills? Can somebody tell me? Yeah, in Canada, baby wipes have no alcohol. Alright, this time I'm just going to rub like I would if I was using a regular baby wipe. Sorry for the noise, because some of the Velcro is hitting it. And now that it's on, let's just try to dab. It might go right under the stencil, so that may not work. But let's try, see what happens. The worst you can create is a flopportunity, right? And sometimes you get some pretty cool effects. Okay, let's try over here. I do have some red velvet cake for later though. So this was bad news. Look at how much that, can you see? This makes me laugh. It's just like all pilled. But why do I have to use that? Maybe I'll just take a piece of felt. Maybe it's not exactly good for your hands though. I mean, I already have it thrown across my... When Barb did her stream, she was smart and used gloves. That's not too bad. If you had a thicker piece of felt, like this is very thin that came on, you know, that came with that. If you had like regular, like just craft felt, it would be much easier because, you know, even craft felt is thicker than this piece. That's for sure. But let's just go over here and just try to drop. Maybe it'll go through, maybe it won't. When I say go through, I mean go under the stencil. Creates a little bit of a hot mess there, but we can work with it. Let's go up here. Back to the blending solution. So as you've probably figured out, the blending solution acts as a remover as well as a blender. A little sticky. Now I wonder what would happen if I went over here, put that down. Where's my brayer? I was just, oh, there it is. I don't know if anything will come off or not. Oops. Oh, a little bit. That's pretty cool. All right. So I do have 3 areas, but what's fun, now I can go back on top and blend those edges. And I'm just dabbing, dripping it on. Maybe I'll add some splots into those areas so that it starts to move a little bit more. This is a very bright background. The thing with alcohol inks is really you use so little. Alright, a few splots off the end. Oh, I like where this is going now. And you could have filled the whole page. I'll hold it up here in a second. I know you see a shadow down there. I see a shadow on mine. Hi, Leslie. Good to see you. You know what? We can try it. We can try it to see if it works if the page isn't gessoed. But yeah, Jean's right. It'll probably sink right through the paper, like it did with my with this paper towel here. I mean, it's almost completely done. I like what's going on. And then, you know, you don't have to put the color directly onto your blending. You know, you can add a little bit here and there, but usually I only do that if I'm starting a whole background, right? That's not going to do, you know, anything other than make a little puddle. But say I do it over here, throw it on there. Let's go and throw on, and it, see how it just spreads? Maybe you can't see. But look what's starting to happen. And I got those things working themselves out, and I've got the stencil stuff coming through. Definitely would be awesome if you had, even if you had, you just need a thicker piece of felt. Alright, so look at what's happening over here. Let's add some, oh, I had that silver blue in my hand. Now, the safety manager in me feels the need to tell you not to put alcohol inks in spray bottles. You don't want to be inhaling it any more than you already do. Um, that's just a little disclaimer. Let's see. So I've got green, blue, and I'm going to add, I think let's add some red here. As I keep saying, I'm trying to learn color theory and color mixing, but then other times I just go with what's around me and what can work. So you can just, let the dots spread, move them around, let them move around themselves and then go in. They look like coffee stains or something. I absolutely love it. Then you can add the alcohol, blending solution. So you see you get those little pools start going. Then it can go back in. Let's go back in with some stream. So you can spend, you can get some really cool techniques, different things happening. Even if you don't want to do a whole background like this side, this is very dark. I probably use a little bit too much stream and eggplant. Probably should use some lighter colors. But you can get some cool watercolor effects. I'm going to go back to this one. Body parts. I don't know what you guys are talking about in chat, but I don't see any questions. So, okay, I got some butterscotch here. Put that on blending tool. Add a little blending solution. Oh, you see a face? Nah. Oh, is these two eyes? We're starting that already? I see a face. Alright, so you can leave those spots, or you can work them around a little bit. You can also, well, see, I can just blend them. See what happens. Hot mess. But because they react with each other, over and over again and over with the blending solution, even if you think you've muddied something up and it looks crazy, you can always go back in with blending solution and blend it out and change, right? And always go back and add more blending solution and splots, and you just, oh my goodness. Oh, this is bad news. Do you see that? What the devil's going on? I knew I was strong, but that's not, that didn't go so well. Anyways, you can manipulate this. Let's add more stream and work it so that it's not as muddy looking. So I don't suggest you go straight down like that. I just explained how I called them, or how I sent them an email. That's my fault though. That's just old. I've had these for 10 years. 2014. I see some silver. I must have used this blending tool the last time for silver. I don't know, you probably can't see it on camera, but I'm seeing some silver. In fact, now that we talk about silver, let's add some then. So the metallic makes it a little bit different. And you have to shake them. They do separate. The mica separates from. What is that? I don't know what Linda's laughing at. Anyway. I like this. The more I look at it, see how it gets darker? It just keeps moving. It reminds me, look, this kind of reminds me of a map. Alright, so this is gold, I believe. Yes. And you gotta shake it. I'm gonna put half on one. I don't know if you can see how much I put on there. Or some on one half. And a little bit of blending solution right beside it. Boy, I'm strong. I'm going to move it around. I had lots of blending solution on already. But I want to blend it out after making that hot mess. I'm gonna have to blend it out to make it look like it was intentional. Working through the uglies, that's for sure. But I definitely don't use alcohol inks enough. I don't know about you guys. Has anyone in chat or that's here that has used alcohol inks in their art journals before? And you can just keep, this is looking, when I look up at the screen, it's looking, in my opinion anyways, pretty nice. Yeah, it's very deep in color. I should have chose lighter colors for sure. I'm looking at this. Let's add back a little bit of, I mean, this is sailboat blue, and that's pretty dark. But I suppose that if you're using it, you know, Ranger sells the metallic tape, and that's how we made this frame. This is on top of metallic tape. Maybe it's a little bit more translucent. Alright, so moving that around a little bit. Starting to remind me of granite without the lines. I bet you there's probably a way you can paint lines to make it look more like granite. Alright, I'm not going to make you watch me completely blend out that page, but I think you get the idea that you can create some pretty cool backgrounds that you can't really create with another medium. You can buy alcohol inks at Michael's. Most craft stores sell them. They usually come in sets. Probably, I think, sets of 3 maybe. Excuse me for drinking. Hi, Anita. Anita has a tip. She says there's an alcoholic Facebook group that does some pretty cool stuff. That sounds wonderful. I'll have to check that out when I get off. Oh, right. I wonder, I don't have any around me, but I wonder if a dry baby wipe would be good to wipe off alcohol ink. Or a rag, which is something I don't particularly use. But I definitely like that. Let's go in and just see what happens. This is the other stencil that I was using, that I pushed the gel medium through on the other page. I'm just going to see in this corner. Where is a tool? I've got to get a tool and a new piece of felt. I'm definitely out of felt. I'm going to have to go to, hopefully they sell it at Dollarama. Oh look, I do have one of his newer ones with the felt on it. I am such a liar. I didn't even see it. I have some old ones and I have the new one too. Okay. So I'm just going to put blending solution and I'm going to do the same thing. I guess you can pounce. I guess I don't have to rub. But I don't think so. I don't think it's I don't think it penetrates as much as if you do the whole twisting motion so that it actually comes out. Floating alcohol ink and water gives some great designs. What do you just dip your paper in, Eileen? And Patty Tully Parrish also has some wonderful YouTube videos. YouTube videos, Jean, or streams? Or streams uploaded to YouTube. So let's see, you just barely, maybe you can't, I'm going to see if I can find a little bit more. I find if you twist it, yeah, it damages your, completely, I shouldn't say damage, it completely ruins the felt. Just dip the paper in. Cool. I bet you if you went on Pinterest, there would be 1,000,001 ideas using alcohol inks, that's for sure. Ooh, that is a little nice though. There was some blending solution underneath it. before, but I like the way that looks, so maybe I'll work it out over here. Sorry, I know I'm at the very... She is Inky Obsessions. Patty Tolly Parrish's Inky Obsessions, and I will tell you that I am very excited to... I can't wait. Patty Tolly Parrish also has stencils over at iStencil, and rubber stamps in her Etsy, Inky Obsessions. I can't wait to try out some of her stamps and stencils. As I was saying the other day, in my opinion, you know, I have thousands of stamps. We've been stamping for years. I think a lot of us have, you know, I could never have enough stamps. You gotta have I was gonna say you have to have one of every image, but then I thought, you know, I sure have lots of cats and Eiffel Towers and pen nibs. So that's not, oh, that's not the right blending tool. I apologize. But stencils are like the new stamps. Not in the way I use them, but what I mean is in the need to have, you can never have too many. Thank you so much, Jean. She just shared Patty's YouTube for anybody that doesn't know. Patty Tolly Parrot. Alright. Tolly. I so apologize for pronouncing names wrong. Alright. See, that alcohol definitely seeped underneath that time. Definitely. So up here, there's so much. This is where up here is where I actually dripped the blending solution on there, so I'm not quite sure how that's going to go down. If it's really going to show anything, I apologize for the scratching noise. Alright. I like that. So like I said, you can continue to work this background until you have something that you really like. Let's see if there's any blending solution or anything on the back of that stencil. Nope. Alright. This is at its sticky point right now, so let's see how dry my stuff is. Oh, first I'll show you this close up. Alright, light. So as you can imagine, the different designs of stencils, you know, I used a stencil that has a very detailed design, right? Not a lot of negative space in that stencil. And then this part is where I dropped, you know, where it's lighter is where I dropped the blending solution before we tried to remove it through a stencil. So that's pretty cool. And then this side, I love how this side's going. And we could probably, I mean, you could do the same thing. Let's see. So, I don't know if that one's too round. Well, I might want to continue the same theme here. My other page isn't quite dry. I don't know what I was thinking. I wasn't thinking. That's what I was thinking. I wasn't. Alright, but we shall use, this is also one of the stencils from the Quasi Crystal series. And maybe I'll blend these two. So, I don't know why. Like I said, I made the wrong choice tonight by using the heavy gel medium. Oh my goodness, now it just completely broke off. Bad news. So, I'm going to have to redo that and just use some matte medium instead. I do know that matte medium is going to dry really quickly with a heat gun, so no worries. There is a lot there. So now I'm just using I just used the baby wipe, and I know I'm really off camera. I apologize. Hey, Jan. Hopefully I said hello to everybody in chat. Sometimes it moves fast that I can't see. All right. Ooh, look at that. Ooh. Ooh. I love you, Joyce. Okay. Put that over here, but look how nice. Like, you never go back to the gesso. Well, maybe if you spend lots of time, you might end up going back to the gesso. You can see how the gold, oh, that's actually a pretty good shot of the gold mixative. That'll be cool. I like it. Lots of things we can do with that. The heavy gel you should really leave overnight. Again, I have no idea why I thought that that would be a good idea. So, we shall try it in a different journal. I'm going to go to the smaller version of the Dilutions journal from Ranger. Find a page that I gessoed. Here we go. This time I'll use different colors. So we'll put these ones down and maybe we'll use some more pinks. So like I said, this time I wanted, in my head I thought, well, maybe the resist would be better. I wanted to test, let's just test it and just. In my head, what I was thinking was, the reason that this worked is that these letters at that time, they were cut out with quick cuts or some such thing, because we didn't have any fancy, you know, quick cuts was amazing to have. I think I still have this page font. Anyway, these letters, there's letters underneath the tape, and you know, then you use a blending solution to wipe it off, and it doesn't affect underneath because, you know, that's raised. If I use matte medium, it's not going to be raised, so that's not going to work. Probably not. But no, it's not going to work. We won't even try. Well, oh my goodness, I'm so indecisive. Apologize for not being prepared. I definitely should have done that earlier today and let it dry. Oh, I forgot that baby wipe was the one that had the big crusty thing in it. Okay. We shall go back. I've already lost one of the stencils I was using in the fire here somewhere. We'll just use this guy. So this time I'm going to use a brush. I do have a designated brush just for this gel mediums. Now you got to be careful with the brush because it definitely will go underneath your stencil. Or it's much easier to get medium or paint under your stencil. So you got to be very, you know, and don't expect perfect results. Drink some coffee. I know, I think that's what I need. Drink some coffee, Paula. Drink some Monster. I had lots of coffee today. Alright, let's just put it on with our... It's very thin stuff. You know, if I had used the Claudine Helmuth stuff the way I originally planned to, we would have been all good. I don't know why I second guess myself. I guess it's best to go with your first instincts, huh? Alright, put this down over here. So this is messy business. Let me tell you, I do suggest at least a soft gel medium. But I do know that I can dry matte medium with the heat gun. But if you use soft gel or heavy gel, let it dry overnight. You should be golden. Get it? Oh, I kill myself. Maybe I should have had some drinks at Thanksgiving dinner. All right. I did get a little bit. So this was flying around, and I'm like, what is that, a hairball? I don't know what this was. So again, I do have some matte medium on my stencil, so very important to clean that off. You don't want to change the shape of your beautiful stencils. Obviously I don't wipe off paint or anything inks, but I definitely, if I'm using a molding paste or some medium like that, I will clean them. All right. Yeah, I really like these quasi-crystal set. I like the geometric design. You know, I don't have a lot of geometric stencils necessarily, and I really like that. Oh, wait, and I got a little bit right there. Again, this has already been pre-gessoed. Now I'm gonna dry it. Gun. And just use some soft gel. No, soft gel. I think you can heat soft gel as well. Um, Definitely can't eat heavy gel. What if you and somebody's gonna say, yes, you can, I've done it, blah. Yeah, maybe somebody, it works for some people. In my experience, if I've tried to dry like regular molding paste, not light molding paste, but the regular molding paste, or something heavy like that, the extra heavy gel, it's, you know, when you heat it with a heat gun, you get the top layer dry. It's just not really dry underneath, right? In my experience, that's what's happened. So, but it might have worked for other people. Heat gun. You like that one, eh, Sherry? I thought it was good. Jeannie just groaned. That's all. I kill myself. Oh, that's what I meant the other. Well, I'm gonna say. I guess I can say while I was doing this. The other day I was talking about how I like people that um, leave me comments on YouTube about my Ustream videos. And let me know, guys, if you can't hear me talk over the heat gun. But I like when they answer, you know, or they reply about jokes or something I said. So one girl, in one stream, I said, I want to bring in my yoga ball and sit on my yoga ball rather than a chair. But then I'd have to constantly explain in streams that, no, that wasn't me, that was my yoga ball. So someone commented that she liked that joke. So I really like that comment. Hi, Melissa. Oh, it's already bubbling. And I use regular gel, or not medium. Just move your heat gun around. Whoa, that's a bubble. But hey, the bubbles might give us some good, these bubbles might give some extra texture. I'm not opposed to extra texture, but this is what happens when you put something down that's too thick, right? But the thing, here's the thing: if you aren't willing, look at these bubbles. Excuse my light, my friends. Maybe I should put my Ott light on and see if it's any better. But that might be some cool texture. I got a little bit going on here that's not quite wet. While I'm doing this, I'm going to reach over and turn on my Ott light. Tell me if it's one better or two worse. One better. Let me just adjust my light on my camera here, guys. If you're new to my show, you'll understand that I am the type of person that shows everything, good, bad, and ugly. Not afraid to try things and to do it live. Alright, right light. Let's try this. Put it back on. Better or worse? Alright, we shall see. Let's just do this a little bit, and I mean, if it works, heck, I'll use. I mean, there was a stream we did years ago where all my lights out were in the dining room, and I couldn't go upstairs at that time because I had a broken ankle. So we streamed by the light of an light, an only light, streaming in the dark. Thirsty loves watching the process. You can tell I haven't been in the US in a long time. Gone back to saying process, not process. Alright, let's try some different colors this time. Got, what is this? Sunshine yellow. Sorry, there was a mark on there. I couldn't tell. So sunshine yellow, that's nice and light. Cranberry, not so light. Terracotta. Maybe I'll use terracotta, sunshine, and that. Oh, my poor alcohol blending solution. That's my fault. It's just old. You know, plastic only lasts for so long. Lettuce. Yeah, let's do these. It's pretty fall colors. So we got lettuce, sunshine yellow, and terracotta. Let's try those. I guess I need a couple more of these bad boys. Oh, this is a tiny blending solution. Tiny blending. But I think, oh no. I was just going to say, oh, maybe I can use a glossy accents cap, but then my glossy accents would dry out, so that's bad news. Alright. So this time I am going to drip and then blend from the drippage on the page rather than putting the alcohol ink solution onto the blending tool. I use a blending tool to blend it all out later, but I'm going to put it directly on. It's already, I don't, can you see that? It's already starting to do something. Let's move. I'm using a smaller book now, so let me zoom in. Oh, journaling Bibles. Don't let me I want to talk about that at the very end of my show. Somebody please remind me. Thanks for letting me know, Anita. I did want to talk about that. Alright, that's better. Over here, it's already starting to do something. I'm not squeezing the bottle at all, guys. It's just, I was going to say a bad word. It's just trickling out itself. Alright. Let's see what happens with the yellow. It's supposed to be sunshine yellow, but I remember, you know, this was... We did a whole stream once, and I definitely can find that pretty quickly. But we did that particular journal. But we did a stream once where we did alcohol inks over packing tape, right? It just needs to be a non-porous surface. That's why I put gesso. So we did a, you know, worked on the page and used alcohol inks on top of packing tape, which may give, for those of you who me included, oh, is my, let me just check my focus here, that think of an extra layer you can put on your jelly plate packing tape creations. Imagine if you add a little bit of alcohol ink on top, you can get a totally different thing. So let me bring this up before I move anything. It's already starting to settle around the images from the stencil. That was a while ago. That was one of my very first couple streams. Oh boy. So one thing that's important, I gotta be careful here. The blending solution I find is sticky. My poor lid. I'm having bad luck these days, my friends. Okay. Need to get a new. Ugh. And then what the problem I remember when these first came out, see what's happening there? Then the Velcro came off from that. But I'm telling you, right, it's funny because it seems like I'm having nothing but problems with Ranger products, but let me tell you, they like I said, I have distress pads that are also from 2004 or 5, wherever they came out, that are perfect. All right. Let's see, we'll blend this around a little bit, make it move. The fun, well, maybe not for some people, but the fun thing about alcohol inks is that, like, you can spend forever perfecting it, right? Gary played with some jelly tapes this afternoon for a wee bit. We had a wonderful show last night watching the wonderful I Carry Love on Ustream. Alright, so I definitely don't have enough ink going on there. Let's see. So we got some greens. Let's add some butterscotch to this, see what happens. So move this around again now. So here we go. I didn't gesso all the way to the edge here. I can already tell that it's sinking into the paper rather than sitting on top. And normally, like I always say, I don't worry too much about completely filling my page with gesso because I like when paint sinks in here and there, but maybe not so much when you're using alcohol inks. Need some more green, eh, Jean? Night, Jerry. So good to see you. Add a little bit more green. I can tell where it's not, where there's no gesso. Definitely tell. Alright, probably not enough green, so again I'm going to go drip down, drip it here and there. Get some splots going on. And let it do its thing for a minute. Oh, it definitely needs some in the middle. In my view, all I see is blurriness. Is that what you guys see? Sometimes as a streamer, it's very hard, my friends, to be able to tell what I see may not be what you see. Does it look really blurry? Should I back out? Should I back out, my friends? Alright, so I'm going to replace this again. And like I said, this is just felt. Felt you can cut yourself, just get at the dollar store. So don't, like, you know, felt's cheap. Kid felt. Alright, so I'm completely covering. That's a good shot. You can see how much I got on there. And now I'm just going to buff in a circular motion where that stencil is and see what happens. Now, because I used matte medium, it may not work because matte is matte. No, and it's not thick enough. Let's see what happens if I just completely annihilate it. But I'm not afraid to do that. And, you know, it looks good to... Oh, thanks, Eileen. I thought you meant this looked good to you. I was like, what? The inks are fuzzy. I mean, alcohol inks are fuzzy, that's for sure. That's for sure. So, matte medium, and again, I don't know what I'm thinking. I'm not thinking right tonight. Because I specifically chose gloss for this reason, right? Because it goes, oh boy. It's one of those nights. Drink some more tea. Definitely over here has gone right through the page. I do have some blue paint over there, so you can't really tell. Alright. You get a little bit of a resist, but it's probably because I used matte medium and not a gloss. It's the turkey's gone right to my... You guys know how... I mean, I eat pretty clean, so I had some mashed potatoes. I probably haven't had potatoes in maybe 2 weeks. White potatoes, anyways. Alright. Let's work through the uglies on this. I'm not sure what was the problem, what didn't work. Was it because it wasn't raised enough? Or it wasn't, or because I used matte medium and not a glossy medium? Or a bit of both. But like I just said a couple minutes ago, you can continue playing with this to create a multitude of effects to bring it back. You know, it's never, you can always save it. Yeah, it was shiny in some spots, Carrie, because it wasn't dry. The blending solution wasn't dry. How am I gonna, oh my goodness. I'm gonna have to tape that bad boy. Where's the duct tape? I don't know why I'm screwing the lid shut if it's not working right. Alright, so that wasn't really exactly what I had planned for sure. That didn't really go my way. But maybe it'll be different when it's dry. Like, look at this side. See, I wonder if it's seeping, like, why right here? Oh, 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 right there. Why did that seep right into the jelly, into the gel? That makes me wonder if I had left it on there, if I put the alcohol solution down, like over here too. I don't know how well you guys can see it. But it really, actually sunk into the gel, not the other way around. In my opinion, or not my opinion, in my head, what I assumed, I guess that's why, you know, you shouldn't assume when you're experimenting, but I assumed that it would be the opposite. You know, you get the resist. So this would be white, the stencil would be white, where I put the matte medium would be white, but really the matte medium is sucking up the alcohol ink, and it's the background, the gesso, that's kind of resisting, which is strange to me. I'm baffled. Baffled. Yeah, I shouldn't assume and always ask why. But that is interesting. I might have. Now this is a true flop-portunity. This is why I say flop-portunity, because this was a flop. But then why is that matte? Uh-oh. The alcohol ink sinking into the matte medium. Where I thought it would be opposite. I thought it would be dark. Do you know what I mean, Vern? Let's put that to the side for a second and let it dry. Now, this isn't anywhere near dry. Hey, let's see what happens. I mean, it's here, right? I know it's white, it's white, it's white. I'm going to put some alcohol inks. It's not dry. This is heavy gel, extra heavy gel gloss, but I'm not opposed to seeing what would happen if we threw some alcohol ink on this while it's still wet. Oh, thanks, Jean. It is a pretty background. Don't get me wrong, it's not that I don't like it. It just didn't do what I expected it to do. But let's see what happened. Whoa, what? Look. Look at that! My friends, do you see what I see? Do you see what? I won't see it. I won't go there. But now it's in my head. Put the tree stencil. Look at it! What the devil is going on here? Let me hold it straight for you. So I'm dripping it, and it's literally sucking into the gel, and not going on the paper. Well, a little bit. Do you guys see that well, or is it too flashed out? I don't know what it is, Edge. I promise I only had one shot of Bailey's and coffee today. I promise. What? This is going somewhere, my friends. Now I just used, this doesn't look like sailboat, doesn't look like very yellow to me. Yeah, Eugene, it's just, the ink is absorbing into the wet, I also wouldn't say it's completely wet gel medium. I don't know, is that better or worse? Well, to me, with what I see, that's better. You can see it clearly. But is the other one eggplant joyceage? Let's see if I have some eggplant going on. Espresso. I should have eggplant, ginger, raisin. I wonder if it's one of these no-name bottles. Well, let's see what color it is. See, this is exactly what you call a flopportunity, right? Your intended outcome, and then you do something, and you get a totally different result. And again, not squeezing the bottle, just dripping and dripping. What the devil? Now this is where I would want to mist it, but we shall not do that. We shall not do that. Joyce says, want some mushroom? Do I have any? I don't have all the colors, Joyceage. Ginger. I don't have a mushroom. I only got however many colors that he originally came out with, and I think later on I bought the, because now it's too much going on in there. But maybe that's because some parts were wet and some parts were, you know, more dry than others. Let's go over here. This, I don't know, this is like Dusty Concord. No, that's not Dusty Concord. That's a distress color, not an alcohol ink color. All right. I'm gonna put one color and let that sink in and see what happens. So that's pretty cool. Unless, see, the problem is if it's blending, or, you know, seeping out from where the gel medium is, it's because I've oversaturated where it is. This might be latte, no, espresso. I'm not sure. So I've oversaturated that area there, which is why it's, you know, it looks a little bit more muddy than the others. But let's add some gel medium. Alcohol blending solution on top of that, see what happens. It's very, like, why am I screwing the lid on? Habit, I suppose. It is very concentrated there. Let me see if I can wick something up. I'm just taking the edge of a paper towel here. It was a flocking flopportunity is what it was. Flocking. Flock. F-L-O-C. It's a running joke. And it never gets old. In my opinion. I'm not sure the blending solution did anything necessarily. It's hard to tell. It might be cool, yeah, what the blending solution will do tomorrow. Exactly, Jane. I am going to see if espresso, because I do have espresso, and to see if that's the same color. It's really interesting how it whipped it up like that. And if you could figure out some way to control it. Now, this is where I'd want to put it in a spray bottle. But guys, don't try that. Don't try that. Don't. But yeah, that whatever color this was, is there a lighter brown? Maybe that was mushroom then, Joyce. Because this espresso is definitely a darker brown. This is definitely a darker brown than that other no-name bottle, so. My hands are sticky. Like this really, I mean, we're talking, again, this is called a quasi-crystal set. This is the Quasi Crystal set from artistseller.com, and that's really looking like a crystal to me. Mushroom spray. You want me to see what happens if I put on an Adirondack spray? I definitely have those. You're gonna make me work for it though. Metal. Pesto. Oh, let's try some pesto. Yeah, let's see what happens if we put some spray ink on top of it, if it does the same thing. First I'll try it down here. Night, Anita. Oh, no problem. I understand it's late for some people. No problem. I'm just glad that you were able to join us at all. Let's see. These old ones, color wash bottles, the original color wash bottles, it's not as a fine spray, but it's pretty much doing the same thing, but not as well as this. Definitely not as well as the alcohol ink. So, I mean, you can't see anything, so that was a flop. Maybe if I add some water to it. But again, I'm using extra heavy gel gloss that's not dry. Not dry. I'm assuming if it was dry, it wouldn't sink in. Again, you shouldn't assume though. I'm gonna spray some water on this bad boy, see what happens. Well, it's moving. But this time, see, it's resisting, and what it's doing is pulling where this picked up the color. The mold, I wanted to call molding paste is so thick. The extra heavy gel, the gel medium picked up the color, where here, now the ink is pooling in the recess of the stencil, right? Not the top part like it's doing over there. You like that pesto? I don't know if they did, is that one of the discontinued ones? Now, you definitely have to coat your paint. If you're using a glossy medium, especially extra heavy gel, it does end up being a little bit sticky. So, it does look cool though. I don't know if you guys can see. And as it moves around, you can move it around so that it remains in the stencil. It doesn't remain in the stencil, that's not what I'm saying. So it moves to other parts of the stencil. But this tomorrow, let's back it out a little bit, might be very interesting. Especially, maybe I shouldn't have put so much on there. I don't know, but that seemed cool. Gotta play around with that technique. I have to go through, what did Jean say the other day? She was talking about when you reminded me, I hated science in school, believe it or not, like, hated. Hi, Lynn. And, but what does Jean say? You only need to, if you're doing experimenting, you should only change one variable at a time. So I guess the first variable I would try to change is completely wet medium, and then completely dry medium, and then see what happens. But it pools. Let's see if that'll move around. I'm seeing if what would happen if I move around the alcohol ink. I just put some blending solution on it. But it's not going anywhere. Literally, it sucks it right up. So maybe whether... This is making my mind go in a million ways, right? Because I bet you when I put this, now this makes sense. I bet you when I put that down there, it wasn't completely dry. And that's why you only see it here, here. You know what I mean? And once this dries, you can put a different spray on it. Once it completely dries, you can put the, one of your regular sprays on it. So anyways, I'm going to leave these experiments to dry. Come back tomorrow and see what happens. I am just, I'm more tempted to know what happens when it dries, but we're going to have to wait a couple days before that happens. The Scrappy Camper sisters are Jonna and Darcy. I actually really like how this is looking. Because that, you know, glossy and, because glossy does tend to stick unless you coat it, you know, with something. Usually for me, I don't bother coating my pages, but if I know something's gonna stick, if I'm using something glossy, I just put in a piece of wax paper permanently, you know, and I just leave it in my journal, and that's just, you know, that's just the way it goes. If you're flipping through my journal and I've got a page that I think may stick, you're gonna see a piece of of wax paper. You could coat it though. Some people put wax. But what I was saying, you know, so I don't usually use it, but I really like how it's pooled. It's pooled underneath there. And because that this is, you know, you can wipe that back because gel medium, well, I probably shouldn't have done that because it wasn't dry. Yeah, it's fun. I wasn't dry though. Sorry, I don't know if my head's in the way or not. You definitely don't want to see my roots. My nieces today hadn't seen me for 2 weeks. And Cindy told me I need to get my roots done. So, yeah, that went well. Alright, uh-oh. It's stuck. That's bad news. I don't worry about it. If something like that happens, well, this was a page in process, you know, like I work in multiple journals at the time, a little bit, like I say, a little bit here, a little bit there. Whatever, I'm just going to, I'll just cover something over that later. Oh my goodness, sounds like Simon is dying out there. What is going on? Let's see. Well, for fun, because I've been struggling with this page. Does anybody have any questions about what we just talked about? I'm going to revisit it on, because, you know, I don't like to leave anybody with any craft or frustration. So I'll talk about it on Wednesday when I stream at Wednesday Eastern. We'll go over that technique again. I will make sure I dry it first. I'll have that all prepped and do a couple more experiments before we try something else. But let's see how this works. I've got a may not do anything. This is multiple layers of craft paint, most primarily, which is not glossy. But let's see what happens. Hey, I mean, what could the worst thing that could be happen? It couldn't get any worse. Let's just put it that way. That's what I'm trying to say. Oh boy. Miss Yancy. All right. Let's just see what happens if we drop some down. So I was going for the whole green, purple, orange look. Excuse me. So I will put down some, well, let's see. Plum. Plum. Tomorrow. Did I say Wednesday? I'm not sure. There's lots of people tomorrow. I mean, I could, but I think I'd be in line. I think Dar said she was going to stream tomorrow, right? Is Laurel going to stream tomorrow? Uh-oh. I just completely threw that across my room. Not across, but underneath my desk. So it shouldn't be too bad. I mean, who knows? It might not do something. It might do something. Because multiple layers of paint. I mean, acrylic paint. Acrylic is plastic, right? So it shouldn't be too bad. But maybe it'll interact with the paint. I don't know. Maybe it won't do anything. But if you don't try it out, then you'll never know. Carrie will help us out who Laurel is. Laurel is Laurel from NJ. Let's move this around, see what happens. So I put a little blending solution on there. See what happens once I move it around. I don't know, like I believe, I mean, this is mixed media. Mixed media isn't a look. Mixed media means you're using multiple media in your process, right? So many people say, look, I did a mixed media layout. Well, mixed media just means that you're using more than one medium in your work. So right now I'm using an alcohol ink and paint. But so I always am experimenting on how things work together. And if it doesn't turn out, turn your page and move on. This is interesting though. It's definitely tinting. I don't know what you guys see. This one's a Canadian page, eh? Yeah, because I had these weird, like, you know, it was like it was from a letter stencil, right? But I'm like, why did I put that right in the middle? And then I saw the E and the H together, like it was just the way the stencil was laid out. And I'm like, oh, I gotta do a page about A. Eh? Looking good, eh? Look at that. I actually really like it. There was some spots right there that maybe there wasn't enough something. So now, oh my goodness, this poor bottle. Let me just drop a couple splots on there, see what happens. See if that moves around or not. But it might not because it's not a glossy surface. Maybe if you were using more of a student grade paint like Liquitex Basics, or definitely, you know, some of the artist grade like Gold and Heavy Body, they're more plastic, right? They're more shiny. You might be able to get a better look. And this is just a piece, this my friends, was made, flip it over, from a Dynamite, which is a clothing company here. I don't know if it's in the US or not. Anyways, it was just like their like quarterly catalog or something. So it was junk mail. I literally got it out of a magazine, I think, like a Canadian fashion magazine or something. So it's not, I'm not working with the best paper or necessarily the best supplies, which is why maybe the blending solution isn't working as well. So let's see, use my wedge to pick it up maybe. And I need something light. Let's add some green. Green for Jean. This is lettuce. My goodness, it's like Simon choking on something out back there or what? No, I'm not going to ask him if he needs mouth to mouth. The young kids don't say A very much? Oh, I never really noticed. I guess I don't hang around with a lot of teenagers or anything, though. So that may do something, work itself out over time. It's a little muddy. It's for sure muddy. Let's see what happens if I put some gold mixer right down. Night, Leslie. It was so great to see you. I just want to daub it just the corner of where I put down that blending solution. And it should move a little bit. Let's see, where's my pokey tool? I keep my pokey tool in a eraser so I don't hurt myself or others. I'm just pushing it out. And I don't know why I did this. I just felt like I needed to. So again, not worried about it. Apparently you can use, the girls in the chat are talking about Yupo paper. I have not myself tried any yet. But Curry's, if you're in Canada, Curry's is having a sale. And I think it's 30% off or something. So I may have to pick up a sheet and try it out. But it's like plastic watercolor paper from what I can tell. Apparently it's the new thing, right? I don't know. Can you make an art journal out of it? That's all I want to know. Can you staple it and make an art journal? So I don't know why I decided to make those little things. Other than I noticed that it wasn't moving at all. So I thought, hey, let's see what happens. Now, let's see what happens if I touch. Oh, that's cool. And just try and put one drop in the middle of each one of those little starbursty thing. Oh, and it's like separating. Oh boy, that's doing some cool stuff. I think you can spend hours. Look at this. It like, oh, hold on. So it started, let's go, let me find the one that looks good here. Oh, it's not going to autofocus for me. Okay, give me 1 second. Will it do it for me? Maybe it doesn't like the... Aha! Okay, don't move. It's focused. Do you see how it's shattered? Go up and then go down a little bit. Oh my goodness. It's the light, it's my shaky hands, it's bad news. And it's also Ustream. I think I'm expecting it to look more clear because we used to have a better quality. Oh, now we're just on auto zoom all the way here. So let's make that go back to normal. Used to have higher quality, and now that's only reserved for those who pay to stream. Maybe one day, my friends. Maybe one day. But now I can incorporate some of that gold. You know, that looks better because now I can work it. You know, I can do the same thing. I just put my finger right in it. Put the same thing maybe down here. And I think that'll really help this page. I got alcohol ink everywhere. Let's see. And when I say it's a pokey tool, it's a paper piercer. It's like, when I put the blending solution on, I don't know if you could tell, it just fragmented it. I can't even explain what it did. It's like it shattered it even more. Medium works. I hope you can see well enough. I know, I sound crazy. Alright. Does anybody have any questions, or what do you want to see next? What time is it? Oh, we got lots of time. Well, we got the alcohol inks out, and I've got my brave face on. We can just go nuts. See what happens. Put this off to the side. So it is sticky. You want to make sure it dries before you do anything with it, because it does get a little sticky. This is not dry yet either. Alright. Instead of that, okay, I don't recommend drying with a heat tool necessarily. I'll try not to blow up the place. I'm going to hold it way up high. Don't try this at home. You can. What does Blade always say? Everybody put their face mask on. But, you know, I liked how the other one, let's add some spray. Well, we got some Lindy Stamp Gang, and because this is fall colors, I do have some. And I'm using a lot of Lindy Stamp Gang again lately because I love the shimmer. Should we go for some brown? No, Jean, we need to go for this deep green, don't we? Aha, these are Starburst stains? Yeah, I should probably use a hairdryer on it. Yeah, that's bad news, exactly. Bad news. Bad safety manager in me, that's for sure. No one's gonna hire me as a safety manager for now. It was 98% dry. So So this is Tibetan Poppy Teal. But I absolutely love Lindy Stamping. I have for a while. You just can't beat it. You know, I've not had one Lindy Stamping bottle that's ever clogged. I don't know, maybe other people have, but I haven't. I haven't had that experience. Okay, same thing as I was doing before. I'm hoping that if I spray, it's gonna, well, who knows what's gonna happen. Let's just see. Oh, that didn't do what I wanted it to do. I keep forgetting that I used gel medium. So I'm like, oh, I'm not even on screen. I was spraying very close to that. So there is a mica shimmer in Starburst Stains and my favorite Moonshadow Mists. So I'm going to let that work itself out here for a second. Let's see what happens. But you can't make great art without making ugly art. Right? That's my story. I'm sticking to it. Gotta work through the uglies. So I'm just moving it around, seeing what's happening. I'll take a paper towel now. I don't think you can ever have too many journals going on. I'm just dabbing off around it. Sometimes I get too much overspray, like oversplatter. Seems to be coming up pretty easily on that. Alright. Sometimes you gotta blow on it, help it a little. Keep your comments to yourself. It would be better if maybe if you had a straw or something. I don't know, I just got real lightheaded. Okay. Now I want to try something. I'm going to take a wet brush here. Just a damp brush and see if I can move this pigment around into more of the let's see what happens here. Let's give it a little nudge the right way. See if that helps. Because sometimes when you spray, right, you get a very concentrated, especially when you spray close like this, you get a very concentrated area. I mean, you can use sprays as watercolor, right? The same way you would use a watercolor. So what's wrong with this composition? Who can tell me? Well, how would you fix this composition? Think of it in your head. While I go look for the art journal that has, it made me think that I want to show you what it looks like on top of packing tape. Since you know how much I love packing tape these days. I didn't read the whole thing. What did I say? You have to make ugly art before you can make good art. Gotta work through the uglies. So to me, nobody's answering. To me, this doesn't look right. And maybe it's just my own head. Maybe you like, you like it. But it doesn't look right to me because this one's smack dab in the middle. This one's hanging off, but they're attached. It doesn't look balanced, right? So I need to somehow work this one over maybe into this area and work this one up into this corner. For me anyways, that would help the balance of the page, or how I like it to look. So I don't get too much overspray this time. I'll put this little thing there. So now I'm gonna work that around so it goes into the corner with my brush here and a little bit of moving. And I'll do a little bit over here. There is gel medium there, or matte medium, excuse me. And even then, I think I need to move this guy down here. It especially helps if you're having problems. Like, I can look up at my camera right now, and you don't have to stream live to do this. You can just take a picture on your camera, and that'll easily tell you where you go wrong, especially when you draw Beaker. That's an inside joke for anybody who's seen my Beaker drawing. Beaker from the Muppets drawing on Facebook or Instagram or Twitter. It's a whole new enlightenment when you look at something on a screen. Whole new enlightenments. Okay. So again, look, see, I'm just moving it around. Maybe you can't see. Let me bring it closer. So I'm just taking a brush that's a little bit wet, you know. I'm moving it around. If you don't like the overspray, I could have dipped my brush into the spray ink. Again, this one happens to be a Lindy Stamp Gang Magical Starburst spray. And yes, I bought it myself because I love them. I'm not pimping because I got it for free. I really am a big believer of their sprays. And they're so much cheaper because they ship them with just the powder in it. Alright, and as that dries, I think it'll pool more around the stencil image. Right? It'll start pooling. And we still got that area over here that had that initial layer, right? It's peeking through. Because that's what seeped up into the gel matte medium, excuse me. So I'm just going to push that pigment back up so that it goes into the recessed areas. Because there's like same over here, there's a big puddle. So let's just move it that way. A little bit. Around. I do like the grungy look, so I'm not overly concerned about the overspray. But if you don't like that overspray look, because sometimes when you get that overspray, and by overspray I mean those little drips and splots from the spray bottle. Well, you guys are my friends. We were in a chat last night, and I was just wrung through the coals about, oh, I was pimping stencils, and it's all my fault that everybody has all these stencils. So, you know, that's what I'm going to call myself. I'm just kidding. The difference is I'm not getting a commission. I'm not getting a commission. I just do it because I love it. But I do, all kidding aside, thank you to Artist Seller. Artist Seller did give me these stencils, so I truly appreciate that. Thank you so much, Lisa. But not to say I haven't bought from them myself before, so. Alright, so I'll let that dry a little bit. Oh, I really like where that's going. So to me this looks a little bit better, but again, maybe I want to connect it a little bit later, I'm not sure. But because it's a spray and it's water soluble, you can go and move it all around, right? But my goodness, I love how this is going. Spray inks on top of alcohol inks. We're going to get some cool textures there. So as this dries, I'll put this to the side a little bit, and I'll talk about, this was years ago. I've been streaming, guys, for a while. That's an old address, so it's not going to matter. Oh, this isn't the right book. Oh, yes, it is. So this was the first book, the first journal I used to stream. Some of you have been around YouTube. Let's back up a bit. I recognize that from my Demystifying Acrylics for Beginners YouTube video. But I just wanted to show you, we went over a bunch of these techniques. We were talking about UT yesterday, for example. You know, you can stamp with UT and get a very cool texture in your art journal. Lots of times if you use UT on a stamped image, half of the pieces fly away, right? You're going to heat set it and just half of them go across the room. But you get some cool effects after that. Tight and buff, as we all loved. Okay, here we go. And I put the alcohol ink on top of, boy, you can barely see it. There it is. And we did lots of layers on top. But on top of a printed packing tape. I'll back it out. So we had packing tape here, and I know it's hard to see. But it just needs an alcohol ink needs a non-porous surface, whether it's gesso, packing tape, whatever. It just has to be. What? I'm the only Canadian not watching hockey? I love hockey, but Simon loves basketball. We watch the Raptors sometimes, but not so much me. I'm more of a reality TV kind of girl. More of a reality TV. This is the very first one we did on Ustream together with light molding paste through a stencil. And again, like I said, back then when we did this joyceage, what day did I stream my first stream? I didn't put the date on it. But, yeah, we've been doing this for a long time. That was my first opportunity. I haven't watched hockey and I can't even remember. You know what? I used to love watching hockey when, it was my dad playing or somebody that I knew. And hey, if I can go to a live game, I'm in. Or if the Olympics are on, yes, I'll watch hockey when it's the Olympics. See, I'm just moving this around. There was a little bit of pooling, so I'll move it back over. Yeah, they were all over me last night. I didn't think Darcy's list was ever going to end. And slick sticks and oh boy. And like I said, you can treat sprays just like watercolor, so I can move it around, join them together if I want, just adding a little bit of water. Maybe I'll connect to this as well. And nothing's stopping me from adding more spray. Maybe I'll just keep 3. I'll do a little bit in the middle here. Try to keep it away from the spine. Well, I always like to put something, a little bit in the spine, but you don't want it to seep. I've had multiple journals over the years that, especially moleskine, or however pronounced, moles, it goes in the binding, and next thing you know, halfway through on the other side of the book, it's on another page. It's seeped through and onto another page. All right, again, I can play around with this forever. I'm not sure if that made it better or worse. Yep, I am recording. June 2010. Still moving it. Does anyone have any questions? I hope I've inspired you to try at least a couple things in your art journal with alcohol inks and stencils, or just alcohol inks themselves. Can always, this spray is easy to wipe off too if you think you have too much. So don't worry about that. Well, on top of an alcohol inked background, anyways. Because my couch is calling me. But I shall be back. If so I have regular streams Wednesday and Saturday nights at 9 p.m. But I have also been streaming randomly during the day. So please follow me, mostly on Twitter. If you want to chat with me or get a hold of me, the best way is on Twitter. Facebook, I get lost. There's notifications and things everywhere, and I just sometimes get confused. Maybe that's not the right word. But there's lots going on. I like how Twitter works. Best way to get at me is through Twitter. And also on Twitter, that's where I post if I go live. Also, you can, if you look right above me where my face is, it says JournalArtista. Make sure you click follow or subscribe. I forget which one it is. And then if you, in your settings, if you have the settings right, you'll also get emails. They may not be till the next day, but they try. They try. What is joicage? What? So I really like what's going on here, though. Oh, the splots. Oh, it is a follow. Yeah. Then you get reminders and all those fun things when Ustream decides to behave every once in a while. But we love Ustream. I'm here live, free, so thank you, Ustream, for that. Oh, because it goes off. Eileen says if you keep getting the message tab when someone types in a bunch of O's, the message tab goes away. It's probably because it goes off the thing. Probably because it goes off the thing. Okay, so we had lots of experiments today, and I'm telling you, I barely used any alcohol ink. You know, you use a lot of blending, like Barbara said the other day, you do use a lot of blending solution, but not very much alcohol ink. You do want to let them, don't close your journal. You want to leave them open, but this was the first thing we did. And we did a little bit over here with the stencil, but I also showed how you can just blend a nice background, work a nice background out. Then we tried a couple of experiments in here. And this one's still working. I'm going to update this one. Update this one Wednesday for sure. We got this one working. Remember, this was heavy gel medium gloss. And we also had heavy gel medium, gloss gel medium here that I sprayed some Pesto Adirondack color wash on. Adirondack. I'm not sure which is the right pronunciation. Then we decided to see what would happen when we went on top of craft paint in a really, really cheap junk journal. No, I'm just going to start now. Just recapping, Barb. I'm going to start now. So we had lots today. I'm very happy. It was a little rocky there for a while, but it turned out. See, I hope, I need to learn from my own advice, right? When I say work through the uglies, I get flustered because, oh my goodness, I didn't dry that, and now everybody's going to be upset, and I can't get the technique right, and everybody blah, blah, blah. But what happened was we ended up with something totally different, or I had never tried before, so we definitely had some flop opportunities today. And I did want to talk about, the journaling Bible. And I hope to start it soon. I want to work it into I just pulled it out and dropped everything. I first saw this on Instagram. The very first person I saw was Valerie. I don't know if it's Winers or Wieners. I apologize. I don't know how she pronounced it. I retweeted her the other day to show that she was my favorite. But it's called, this is an English Standard Version. They have new international versions, all different ones. But it's made by Crossroads, and it's literally called the Journaling Bible. There's different ones. This is the cheapest imitation leather one. Because I thought, why get the fancier cover if it's constantly going to be around messy things? So what people are doing, this is a single column one, and this is Exodus, but here's the single column. And people are taking inspiration from a passage you know, something that's inspired them or whatnot, and doing beautiful art on the side. I know I've recently tweeted a crafter's workshop where somebody has used pan pastels. The pages are, you know, they're pretty thin. I saw another, I think her name is, I'm not going to say her name. There is a whole group on Facebook, because I don't want to get it wrong, a journaling Bible group on Facebook, and there's lots and lots of inspiration. So, but you can also, you want to look for journaling Bible, not Bible journaling, because that's, well, I guess you could do it in any Bible, but this is the one that has, you know, space on the sides. And some people I saw, you know, may put a piece of cardstock, so like a bookmark. Now it's going to make your Bible much thicker. Some people, like Valerie, uses lots of watercolors and whatnot. So, you know, my mom and I both got one, and it does have a little ribbon and all of that. So, I'm excited to try that. It's just a new way. It's about lettering, and I think some of you guys would like it. And they have an awesome Facebook group, Journaling Bible, and this is about $25 American. Yeah, you can find them on Amazon. And it's 7 by, I think the one I have, sorry, I got something in my eye. I think the one I have is 7 by 7. Of course, I can't find a ruler when I need one. You know, because who likes to use rulers? 7 by 7, 6.5, 6.5 by 7.5, about that. And it's just nice and small. Hi, Lay. Oh, so good to see you. Yeah, Journaling Bible. She likes to use rulers, like. So it is. I'm telling you, it's some thin pages, but it should be very fun to do lettering and stamping. But check out those. If you don't follow me on Twitter, I'll try to retweet it tonight, because Crafters Workshop did a blog post, and I really liked with stencils and pan pastels, and I thought that would be wonderful because then it wouldn't go through the, you know, you wouldn't see it on the other side. Let's just, I think I did make a test somewhere. Even just a regular, let's see, let's try a Sharpie. This is a Sharpie fine point pen. So there's nothing wrong with putting your name. So I want to see if it bleeds through the other side. So I just want my name. Just Google Journaling Bible and you will find, and see it a little bit on the other side. I lied, because there's gesso on there. I already gessoed. That was about as much as I did. There's a little bit of gesso there. So they're thin pages. That's just a heads up. Definitely heads up. But, you know, that isn't to say that you have to write on every single page necessarily either. And I'm sure that's what people did, was gesso the side of the page. Absolutely. Just gesso that one side, or like I said, I've seen people put cardstock down there. But I haven't researched too much about it. I only saw Valerie do it on Instagram, and then I searched the hashtag, and then it was all over. My mom, like I said, my mom and I both got one, so I'm excited about that. All right. Look, so many people left before the giveaway. That's bad news. How many people are here, Carrie? Let me double. Oh no. That's way different. Silly chat. Gonna pop it back out. Everybody sign in if you want to be part of the giveaway. So we have a stencil from the same stencils I've been using tonight. From the Quasi Crystal set. So I think there's 46 viewers. It says there's 52 people chatting, yeah, but 46 right now. I know some people left, so So it's going to be a good one. Can Carrie, even if I did the whole 1 to 50, choose a number like we normally do, would that be too crazy with this many people? White gouache? On what? Oh, gouache in your journaling Bible. Oh, yes, that's a good idea. Yeah, Valerie, she used a lot of watercolors too, but not good not like regular watercolors. She uses the chalky ones. Yeah, I think it would be too fast if you went it like that, wouldn't it, Carrie? As long as whoever's close. Yeah, that's the thing, right? People have to stop. There's so many people. There's so many. I don't know. How should we do the giveaway then when you have more people than whatever? I think that's probably the easiest. I'll just watch as it's going too far. Yeah. So the way it goes, I write a number. This is how I'm following my friend Dee Dee. I'm going to write a number between 1 and 50. I don't think it's changed since we started this. 1 and 50. Is this stencil? And of course I'll send a couple goodies. It's not just that stencil, but this is, again, from the Quasi Crystal series from artistseller.com. Seller as in C-E-L-L-A-R. Alright, 1 and 50. When I type in go, yeah, I know, Jane, I can't wrap my head around it either. When I type in go, then you choose one number. Wait till I type go, choose one number only, the one closest without going over with 1 and 50. Okay, got my number. I didn't say go! Sweet goodness, Angela. Okay. I don't know how much it was. Some people are playing the smart card. They're waiting to see what other people pick, so that I know the technique. You got strategy going. Hi, Miss Yancy. You got some strategy. See who. It's like the other day was funny. It was like The Price is Right, you know. Yeah, see, Barb just did it to Darcy. Put 22 on top of 21. I gotta give a couple people some time. Thank you, Joyceage. I appreciate seeing you, my friend. Is everybody done? And there's not a lot of people that answered, I don't think. It was an accident? Yeah. Alright, think everybody's done? Let me see, it's 11:09. Give one more minute and I'll press done. Ding, ding, ding. I want to make sure everybody has a chance, but I think everybody that wants to be in. I don't know how big my lag is tonight. That's the problem. Because I was watching Carrie last night, and the lag was so bad. I mean, it was a good minute and a half before she could see what we wrote in the chat. But it looks like it's calmed down. So as far as I can tell, the last person, Artist Prayer, got it. But Barb, you almost got it, Barb, by $1 upping Darcy. So Artist Prayer, please send me you can email me at JournalArtista@gmail.com. Message me on Facebook, Paula Phillips, or whatnot. I'll find you, but I need your address, so you need to work it out. Work it out. Yeah, that's wonderful. Thank you for being here. I know, artists, I haven't seen you here before, so thanks for coming. I'm actually just telling you what my strategy is during giveaways. Except I always end up picking the same number. Jonna and I are always either 8 or 18, so it was so wonderful to see you too, Lay. Hopefully we'll see you again. I hope if Artist Prayer told, if she heard that she needs to email me, I'm going to write her name down and see if I can find her somewhere, but, because a lot of us use the same handle across different platforms, but please send me an email. Alright guys, Eileen always picks 13. I hope you enjoyed it. What a fun day I've had with you guys, even though I had a little break in between, but I definitely had a fun day streaming in the morning. I'm very happy with the things I got done today in the short amount of time. Alright guys, I shall take off. Thank you. I'll see you around Twitter shortly, I'm sure. Oh, thanks, Charlie. It was good to see you. I didn't see you coming in. Thanks, Linda. Now I gotta figure out what I'm gonna do with this bottle. I need some, well, you can use some Tim Holtz washi tape. What are you pointing at, Carol? I can't find the end. I don't know if Carol was talking to me or not. The hairspray didn't work to glue blank pages. I think it has something to do with the hair. Like, alcohol ink is sticky till it's completely dry, in my opinion. So it might have had more to do with the alcohol ink than the hairspray. I think I gotta tape up my poor bottle. I guess I need to buy a new bottle of blending solution, eh? Eh? Take Linda. Or use the glossy accents to glue it on. Well, there's only an inch left. If it dries up, it shouldn't be dry up anyways. A little bit of tape around it. I mean, it's not the end of the world. I had to buy some new ones anyway, so. I should try Yes Paste. You know what? I bet you I have some of that from years ago. Does that stuff go bad? Yes. Maybe it goes bad. No, I definitely have that in my drawer over there. I think I have it. I'll have to go look tomorrow. I'm pretty sure. It sounds familiar. Okay, I'm really going. You know how I am. I'm going. No, I'm really going. No, I'm going now. It doesn't wrinkle pages. Oh, it's a glue. Oh yeah, that's no worries. Okay guys, I really am going. Night.